Hey, what's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. On today's ride, Commander and Caboose escort us onto Fort Knox Army Base, not to find gold, but to visit the General Patton Museum. Afterwards, we head east towards Springfield, Kentucky to visit the boyhood homestead of our 16th President, Abraham Lincoln. It was a fun and educational day trip with history about the evolution of the American armored divisions, seeing lots of impressive World War II tanks, and learned about the modest beginning of one of our great leaders. So sit back and hold on as we rip it through the rolling hills of Kentucky and visit the Patton Museum and the Lincoln Homestead. The Patton Museum is located at Fort Knox, Kentucky, as this was once the home to the U.S. Army Armor School. This was where generations of tankers trained, studied tactics, and learned the art of armor warfare. Patton himself helped to establish America's early armor training at Fort Knox before World War II. The museum honors his leadership, his impact on armor warfare, and soldiers who carried his legacy forward. During World War II, Patton led the U.S. Armed Forces across North Africa, Sicily, and Europe. His belief was, a good plan, violently executed now, is better than a perfect plan next week. This credence made him famous and feared by the enemy. Patton didn't just command tanks, he helped shape how the U.S. Army used them. He trained some of the first armored units and pushed for aggressive mobile warfare. General George S. Patton was one of the most dynamic and controversial military leaders in American history. A man who believed in speed, shock, and power, and few symbols capture his legacy better than the tanks that bore his name, the Patton series. From the deserts of North Africa to the training fields of Kentucky, General Patton's influence rolls on, in steel, strategy, and spirit. The Patton Museum of Fort Knox keeps this story alive for every new generation who hears the rumble of history. Welcome to the Lincoln Homestead in Washington County, Kentucky. This historic site marks the early roots of Abraham Lincoln's family, and it's here that his father, Thomas Lincoln, lived and worked as a frontier blacksmith, and where Thomas married Nancy Hanks. The simple log cabins and working farm reflect the modest, hardworking life the Lincoln family knew in the early 1800s. Although Abraham Lincoln spent only his early childhood in Kentucky, the values formed here, patience, resilience, and respect for honest labor, shaped his character. From these humble beginnings, Lincoln would rise to become one of America's greatest leaders guiding the nation through the Civil War and helping define the meaning of freedom and unity for generations to come.
Three, two, one, go. If you fall, you're breaking something.
Most good, we're like rolling down the entire thing. It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt a lot.
He left my bike on.
Yeah, that'd have been nice to try to get home and all of a sudden the battery's dead.
Yeah. I don't know, it's a lot. So I wanted to get a Kickstarter for my 2003 night train, but it's EF5, and for the system to ignite, you need to keep 2 full rotations on the crankset. And with a 1500cc motor with compression, so
What's up, brother? Hey. Another successful ride in Kentucky.
What are your thoughts on the ride of the ride of the ride? The ride.
The ride of the ride? Well, the ride from the ride was good.
Part 7, the ride.
Yeah. But it was good too. I really enjoyed going to see the Lincoln Homestead. That was a lot of fun. You know, to walk into that big monument and have his old house there, that was great.
Yeah. See the old head, the granite, 56 steps of granite. That's a lot of granite.
It was phenomenal. So, plus, I don't know if you noticed in the museum, they had like all the old tools, the old hand planes.
Yeah,
and
how they built the log cabin. Yeah, that's
really good.
a couple simple tools and you get a log cabin.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is just appreciate it. We get to hang out with this guy right here.
Started riding at 10 a.m. this morning, and I think we went 50 miles.
Oh, yeah.